People are calling Lamar Jackson the most overrated quarterback in the league. They're calling Baltimore overrated, and they're saying Lamar Jackson is not a top 10 quarterback. Is Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens going to come out with a vengeance next year? In this video, I'm going to predict the Baltimore Ravens 2022-2023 NFL record prediction, and I'll predict a healthy Lamar Jackson season. As fun fact, Lamar Jackson has won over 75% of his games as a starter. Week 1, they play at the New York Jets. An easy game for Baltimore, in my opinion. New York could come out pretty hot in the early game, upset Baltimore with Zach Wilson coming in the helm. Maybe Zach Wilson having a breakout year. I think Baltimore is going for a vengeance next year. I think they're actually going to contend for the AFC North and the AFC in general. And don't forget, they were the number 1 seed before Lamar Jackson got hurt, before the Baltimore Ravens fell apart by injuries. Week 2, they play the Miami Dolphins, and I have them beating Miami as well. I think Baltimore and Miami is a good matchup. Miami did almost destroy Baltimore last season with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had one of his worst games of his career. I think Lamar Jackson wants to have a little revenge against Miami. I think Lamar is better than Tua, and I think Baltimore as a whole is better than Miami. Talent-wise, Miami may have the better skill position players. However, I think early in the season, home opener for Baltimore, it's going to be a tough environment for Tua to win. Week 3, they play at New England, a team that had a great rivalry with them. This game could go either way, but I have Baltimore winning. I think Baltimore is going to come out the gate next year. It's going to show the NFL in general that they're still the most scariest team to defend. And Lamar Jackson is going to show people that he's still that unanimous MVP that took the league by storm 2 years ago. The Patriots are a team that I'm not understanding what the direction they're going into. They have no offensive or defensive coordinator labeled as of yet. Mac Jones is not surrounded by the best of talents. I think Mac Jones is going to have a good year, and I think he's going to progress. And Bill Belichick calling the defense is always going to be good. But what's the direction the team is going in? Is they lost a lot of key free agents, and the receiving core has still been bad. Week 4, they play at home against Buffalo. I think they beat Buffalo. I think Buffalo is a team they could beat due to their run game and due to the fact that Buffalo has gotten beat multiple times the last few years through running the football up their D-line. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, this could be a shootout. Lamar and Josh Allen have had pretty good battles in their careers, but I think Baltimore wins. Week 5, they play at home against Cincinnati. I actually have them losing this game. They just find a way to lose against Cincinnati the last few years. They did split with them last season. However, I think Cincinnati, Baltimore coming off 4-0 hot, I think they actually lose to Cincinnati. This is in their home stadium in Baltimore, but I think Cincinnati overall is just the better team. Week 6, they play the New York Giants. I have them beating the New York Giants. Not much to say there. And I have them beating the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended, as the NFL has now appealed it. It's going to be suspended for at least 12 games, and I think they're going for an indefinite suspension. So, this game shouldn't really be that close. I think they beat Tampa Bay. Tom Brady has struggled against great defensive lines, and especially against the Baltimore Ravens, a very fierce defense and team overall. I don't know how Lamar Jackson is going to be contained by the Tampa Bay defense that, to be completely honest, is a little bit overrated. So that's why I have them winning. I actually have them losing to the Saints. The Saints are a team, in my opinion, that are a little underrated coming into next year. Jameis Winston, in my opinion, is going to show some people why the Saints kept him. Even after that torn ACL, the Saints have a great receiving corps, a great defense, arguably going to be a top 5 defense, and it's probably going to be a defensive battle. Coming off the bye, they played the Carolina Panthers, and I think they beat the Panthers. Baltimore off byes have been very good under John Harbaugh, and Lamar Jackson just poses too much of a threat for the Carolina defense and general Carolina team. Week 12, they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually have Jacksonville upsetting Baltimore. You gotta have some upsets here and there. I think Jacksonville is going to be much improved next season. I think Trevor Lawrence is actually going to break out a little bit next year. He could throw that around that 28 to 30 touchdown range. I think he's still going to have high picks, like 12 to 15, as he's prone even in his college career. And last year, we've seen throw high picks. But I think Trevor Lawrence, now surrounded by an offensive guru in Coach Doug Peterson, is going to have a great year to his standard, a second-year quarterback. And I think they're going to upset Baltimore here. Week 13, they play at home against the Denver Broncos, a team that many people, even including myself, could see Denver winning, and Denver having a shot to win the AFC West. I actually have Denver winning here. It's going to be a tough environment for Russell Wilson in Baltimore late in the season. Could be a cold, snowy game. I am very high on Russell Wilson in Denver next year. I know Russell Wilson didn't have his greatest season last year. He was injured, but he didn't play as good as many people expected to. However, I think Denver overall has a great talent, has a great defense, and I think Russell Wilson will show people why he is still a top 10 quarterback, top 5 even. After those two losses, I think they come out and they beat at Pittsburgh and at Cleveland. Again, just the quarterbacks, those two teams I'm not too high on. Kenny Pickett's probably going to be starting by then in the season. And Pittsburgh does have a good defense, an okay offensive line.